I had food poisoning 15 minutes prior to the Golden Globes.
Oh my gosh, Shawn.
And I'm in the back of the room, up a fire escape. They build a studio where the lighting is. And so a lot of people don't know I'm up there.
Mm-hmm.
And they always have somebody come and check on me. This particular year, nobody came and checked on me. The room was spinning, and what am I going to do? We're 5 minutes to air, and I can't lift my head.
Shawn Parr, thank you so much for being on What's Mine Is Yours.
How exciting am I right now, or excited am I right now? This is so cool.
I'm really excited because I can't exactly pinpoint or remember where I met you, and I've met you I think only once. But let me tell you, it was one of those things you walk away from, and it's not every day you meet somebody when you walk away from only one time of meeting someone and you go, they're just like a genuine light. That's what you are. And I'm not kidding. You left such an impression on me because I think I was pretty new to town. And I wish I could remember where it was that I met you. But you have this ability to make everybody feel like you've known them for a really long time. And it was honestly, thank you. And I knew ever since I had started the show and I wanted to start having other people on other than songwriters, I knew I wanted to have you on because you are just you're that person.
You were the sweetest. I didn't bring cash, but I have my Visa. I carry my Visa because it's everywhere I want to be. But no, how sweet. Thank you.
No, yeah. I mean, I know that's a lot of brown nosing at the start of the show, but I really mean it. You really were someone that I was immediately, I'm like, wow, that is such a good person, especially in this kind of an industry where you can kind of hit or miss. You know?
Listen, I feel the same way. To be sitting here with you, this podcast is so popular, and you've had a lot of my friends on this podcast. Very recently, my buddy John Chomby.
Love
you guys had a great conversation.
Oh my gosh.
He was my boss. Then he worked for me. Then I worked for him again. And we've been lifelong friends ever since.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like a little kid right now. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Okay, so obviously you have one of the most iconic voices in the music, in this industry, and it's heard probably far more than people sometimes see you half the time. But let's take it back to the beginning. When did Shawn Parr decide that you want to grow up and be on radio and host award shows?
For me, it happened completely by accident. I thought, honestly, with a last name like Parr, my path was going to be golf. I really did. So I honed my skills.
Okay.
Became a scratch golfer. I was saving my money to go to Q school to qualify for the PGA Tour.
No way.
Out in Palm Desert, California. And was nightclub DJ and got this crazy job offer. This guy came in and said, "Hey, can you do that on the radio?" And I said, "Do what?" He said, "The show you do." And I said, "It's just me."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, we want to hire you." And all I could think of was, I'm going to be on the radio? And I couldn't believe it. I was working for a little 3,000-watt radio station in Orange County, California. But I worked at night at the biggest nightclub in Orange County, which means I automatically had a built-in audience. Mm-hmm. So I would go work at night, and then I would do the morning show, and all of my listeners would be like, calling in, "Shawn Parr, you were with us last night. What a great party we had." And the owner of the station was like, "Who is this guy?" And our ratings in Orange County skyrocketed. And I just became the Orange County country DJ, and I kind of put golf onto the side and then used golf as a tool.
Okay.
And it is a complete Cinderella story of how I ended up being a radio guy that went to Los Angeles and then got involved with Dick Clark Productions. And I've been told I need to write a book and a movie, and because it really is, people say, "Oh, come on, you went to school and did all this stuff." And listen, I manifested everything and it worked. And I've been very blessed. And to this day, sitting here, and my turn to brown nose, sitting with you is a blessing every time I get a chance to do something like this. 40 years later is a blessing. So I'm honored to be here.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to have you here. Tell me about getting involved with the Dick Clark Productions. I think that's really, that is, I know that not everybody, I guess, the more years pass, people don't know that name. That's a huge name. I mean, that's a big deal.
Dick Clark was from the 50s up until he passed away a few years back. He was the man. And me growing up as a kid, my mother would watch American Bandstand, and my aunts would all dance at the house, and they always wanted to be on the show. And I mean, he was just America's DJ, MC. He was the man. And I thought, here I am working at a little 3,000 watt radio station, and I thought that if I got on the committee for the Academy of Country Music golf tournament, pardon me, I'm so excited, sorry, that Dick Clark's guys would discover me.
Okay.
And that's exactly what happened. Wow. Because I was a scratch golfer, they said, well, we're going to put you with our big sponsor because you're fun, you're a good golfer, and these guys will have a great time with you. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go to the tournament. We win the tournament. Go to the dinner. There's 600 people at, what was the name of it? Duvall Golf Course in Burbank, California. This little throwaway goat track, they used to call it. Not me, they used to call it. So it was really fun. And we go to the Castaway restaurant. And all the artists that are playing in the golf tournament that day go up and they do a show.
Okay.
And whoever is the host comes out at the end. They do a big finale. All the stars come up on stage. Willie Nelson is hosting the show. And the two guys that are running the tournament are the head of talent and the director for Dick Clark, Gene Weed and Bill Boyd. And they said, we have this guitar, but we don't have an auctioneer. And I raised my hand and said, I'll do it. And I had just started auctioning for cystic fibrosis in Orange County. Same thing, golf tournament, auctioneer didn't show up. I'd never done one. Raised my hand. I faked it. We raised more money that night for cystic fibrosis than they'd ever raised. Fast forward 3 months later, I'm at the Academy of Country Music golf tournament, and the auctioneer doesn't show up. Now I'm in front of 600 people. They said, we have a guitar. And I thought they said, start it at $1,000. What they said was, see if you can get $1,000.
Amazing.
So I was like, listen, we got a one-of-a-kind guitar. We got Vince Gill. We got Clint Black. We got all these stars that have been here today. And the host, Willie Nelson, has signed it. Who'll give me $1,000? These guys are like, what are you doing? I'm like, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. Let's go to $3,000, $4,000. All of a sudden, I jump up on a table. We sell it for $7,000.
Wow.
The place goes nuts. And I get a call 2 weeks later. Bill Boyd calling for Shawn Parr. I'm like, yes. Can you hold, please? I'm like, yes. Dick Clark Productions is calling me? And he says, Shawn, Bill Boyd. I said, Mr. Boyd, what can I do for you? He said, I want to hire your butt. Those are his exact words.
Hire your butt.
I said, what? He said, we're doing a show on NBC called Hot Country Nights. I need a warm-up guy. I said, what's a warm-up guy? He said, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay you $500 a night. I need you 2 nights a week for 8 weeks. Are you in? I was making $5 an hour at a little Orange County radio station. You bet I was in. And so a week later, I drive up to NBC Studios and I give the guy my ID. I am freaking out. I've never been there. I don't know what I'm doing. They've only sent me a run of show. Alabama, the queen of country music, Reba McEntire, and this new artist, Tim McGraw. I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to do? But I walked in, Mr. Parr, there's your parking place. I'm like, parking place? In I go. I can't find anybody because I'm early. So I go out to the front where the audience gathers and take pictures because we gave away tickets on the air. And I go back in and I see Bill and Gene, the director and the head of talent. Hey, Shawn, come on, man. We got to go. Let's go get the show done. And they opened the stage door and they said, you go down here. We're going to go up to the booth. I'm like, okay. But I don't know what I'm doing. And at the bottom of the stairs, when I walk down to the stage, is the executive producer, writer, Barry Edelman, the stage manager who hands me a microphone, And 1 foot away from me is Dick Clark.
Oh my gosh.
And before I could say anything, he's like, Shawn, all right, here's what we're going to do. I want you to go out and do like 10 minutes. And then when it's all said and done, introduce me. And, just say, don't make a big deal. America's oldest living teenager, Dick Clark. Like, who doesn't know that's his tagline, right? And I'm like, okay, but what does 10 minutes mean? I didn't say that.
Yeah.
And I was still shocked that that's Dick Clark.
Yeah, that's what I think I would be thinking.
And so okay. And he goes, what's that radio station you work for? And I said, 94.3 Kick FM. He said, you ready to go? I said, sure. I had no clue what I was going to do. And Dick Clark is now introducing me in front of 400 people in a studio audience. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tonight's host, this from 94.3 Kick FM, Shawn Parr. And I go out there and I faked it. And I just, where are you from? Great to see you. Oh my God, we got a birthday in the house. Cindy's birthday. Oh, great. You're not going to believe it's on the stage tonight. Alabama. Place goes nuts. The queen of country music. 10 minutes goes by like that. I hear the director. Shawn, that was great. What do you say we get our executive producer out here? Let's get the show going. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome America's oldest living teenager, Dick Clark. Standing ovation. Dick comes out. Stop. What are you doing? Sit down. We got a show to do. Come on. Sits on the stage. Oh, I'm going to get emotional because every time I tell the story, it just blows my mind. He sits down on the steps and he's like, Shawn, come here. How about my buddy Shawn Parr? Sit down. And, oh, yeah, great. So I sit down, puts his arm on my shoulder. And he goes, we have a great show tonight. This is my new team. Shawn and I are going to do this for the next 8 weeks. We've got a brand new show called Hot Country Nights. It's going to be on NBC and blah, blah, blah. And that's how it started.
Wow.
With Dick Clark 8 weeks later. And I got it after the first night. I'm the hype guy. I started bringing in little cars from like Target or wherever, and I would give away a brand new car every night. And the people freaked out. It was awesome. It became a thing. And I would take a kid out of the audience and do all these different things. And I got to know the producers, the camera guys, the writers. And I would go into the meetings. I would get there early across the street where Dick Clark's building, was Dick Clark's building. And I just became part of the family. And after 8 weeks, he goes, what are you doing on Sunday? Nothing. What's up? And he goes, you got a tuxedo? I go, sure. I didn't have a tuxedo. So
you did a lot of faking it stories. I mean, like, my God.
You just say yes, whatever you need. And I said, sure. He goes, I go, why? He goes, well, we're doing a show over at the Universal Amphitheater. I said, great. What's the show? The Academy of Country Music Awards. I said, Dick, that's great, but I'm not doing it. He goes, what are you talking about? Get out of here. Come on, man. I go, Dick, there's 400 people here. There's 9,000 people over there. It's the industry. I'm not doing it. How high is my voice right now? And he goes, Shawn, it's me. We're a team. You'll be there. I go, yeah, you're right. I'll see you there. So there he was.
Oh, my God.
He introduces me on stage at the Universal Amphitheater in front of country music, every major star, the record industry. I was blown away, and I had 2 tickets. This is where the cystic fibrosis miracle comes in. I invited the president of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. We became really good friends, and her assistant. And they sat behind the vice president general manager of KZLA in Los Angeles, the #1 country station in America. Unbeknownst to me, he leans over and he says, so that's Shawn Parr. Because we were beating them in the ratings in Orange County. And his buddy goes, you need to write that kid a check. I don't know any of this is going on. And Helen Johnson, who is the president of the Cystic Fibrosis chapter, knows him, hears this, doesn't say a word. And we go to an after party, and she comes running over and grabs me and goes, I need to talk to you. Helen, this is my good buddy Garth Brooks. I'm like talking to Garth.
Oh, my gosh.
And sorry, let me pick up that name I just dropped. And sorry.
Well, no, we want to drop all of the names.
But seriously, he was brand new to the industry, and Garth and I became good friends, and we played golf together when he came to Orange County, and I mean, we just got to know each other really, really well. He played Vegas. I went to Vegas to see him, and we just knew each other really well, and it was so genuine. And I'm like, Garth, I gotta go with Helen. He's like, man, that's okay. I'll see you in Vegas. Blah blah blah. And so she takes me over to Norm Epstein. I know everything about this man. He's a member at Riviera Country Club. He's the vice president general manager. They're the Lakers station. And I'm like, Mr. Epstein, how are you? What a pleasure to meet you. How's your golf game? And he said, well, we'll talk golf in a little bit. Are you under contract with Kick FM?
Oh, okay.
And I said, no, sir. He said, here's my card. You call me tomorrow. I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, don't not call me. I got to run. Call me tomorrow. Okay, great. I'll call you in the morning. And we didn't get home until 3 o'clock in the morning. I went straight to the radio station to do my show so that I could talk about what happened at the award show. So fresh, like literally from hours before, and the after parties on the air. And people love that stuff.
They do.
So I called him at 9 o'clock from my studio in Orange County, and he goes, hey, how quick can you get to Burbank? I said, well, I'm in Orange County. Let's see, I get off at 10, 11:30. He goes, great, I'll see you then. And he hangs up. Like, no, hey, good to talk to you.
Sure.
Just click. I'm like, guess I'm going to Burbank. And I went to Burbank, and we sat in his office for an hour and a half, talked about everything but radio. Walks me down the hallway, and he says to his program director, Bob, this is Shawn Parr. He's your new afternoon drive guy. Make him an offer he can't refuse.
Wow.
Cinderella story.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry I talked so long.
No, I think you got to share all of it, right? To get
It's just unbelievable. I still can't believe it to this day. And I
can't believe you were doing like big things with Dick Clark, but you were still back hosting your original radio show in Orange County. I mean, like that's
$5 an hour. Got to start somewhere,
Oh my gosh, that's so incredible.
It was such a blessing to be able to do that, get the experience for a year, and then to be able to get stolen by KZLA.
Yeah.
My boss was so mad at me that when I gave my 2-week notice, they usually fire you on the spot if it's radio.
Sure.
They made me work the 2 weeks, which actually worked out great for me because my midday girl kept coming on, and she threw me a 2-week going away party.
Oh my God.
And I would say, I can't tell you where I'm going, but if you turn your dial, we were 94.3 Kick FM. They were 93.9 KZLA.
Okay.
I said, if you turn your dial a quarter turn to the right, you'll find me every afternoon from 3 to 7.
Wow. Okay. So that first radio show in Orange County, what was like a typical day-to-day like waking up and showing up for that?
I couldn't sleep knowing that I got to play radio DJ. Sometimes I would go straight from the nightclub on a Tuesday night. I would get out at midnight, and I would go over and sleep for a couple hours at the radio station and then get up at 4 o'clock and go on the air at 5.
Wow.
Because the commute in Southern California doesn't start at 6 or 7. It starts at 4:30 sometimes.
Yes.
So I was always on the air at 5 o'clock, and that's the way I liked it.
Okay.
And when I went to work in Los Angeles and did mornings, they would say, we don't want you on until 6. Okay, but I want to come on at 5. Well, we're not going to pay you till 6. Actually, I'm on salary, so it doesn't matter.
Sure.
I said, why don't we call the 5 o'clock hour the volunteer hour? And so I called it the volunteer hour. I could play any music I wanted. It was my hour. The people that were up early, and there were hundreds of thousands on the road, would call in their requests, and I would say, challenge me. I had 57,000 songs in my library. I'd say, let's go. Any era you want. Let's go back. Let's go as far back as you want. Challenge me. And we had so much fun playing those kind of songs. And they were my volunteers for the volunteer hour. We had T-shirts made up. Everybody wanted to be a volunteer. If I put you on the air, you got a T-shirt. So the phones were always blinking at 5 a.m. We had a ball. So that's just how I've lived my life.
That's a really fun backstory to where you obviously have become now, which is the voice that I feel like everybody knows. At what point did you realize that you had a voice that was so recognizable that, especially in the country music industry, where you were like, wow, I mean, I'm recognized for my voice?
When I was in junior high school, I always wanted to be the guy I was a 7th grade dance commissioner, which sounds really formal, doesn't it?
It does for 7th grade, I guess.
Yeah, he's a 7th grade dance commissioner. I could mix a 12-inch record, vinyl. And but the vice principal would always have me introduce him at assemblies or a special event. And he would say, "Hey, are you coming?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Will you introduce me?" I'm like, "Gosh, I'd love to." I've always had this deeper voice, which cracks a little bit today. We've been in Washington, D.C. the last 5 days with cystic fibrosis, but it's just been so crazy since I was a little kid. We used to record ourselves and do radio shows with these things called cassettes.
Just those things.
And the first job I ever had that was a legal job was in the drive-thru at Tasty Freeze.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, "Hi, may I have your order, please?" I wanted to be the drive-thru guy. And then when I got hired, I'm going to get emotional, by the Golden Arches, McDonald's hired me. Now, being a 16-year-old and working for McDonald's was such an upgrade. And I was so excited, and I became a crew shift manager with a different blue striped shirt. And all I could care about was the drive-thru.
Oh my gosh! So you just always been, I mean, quote, like, lack of a better way, a talker.
Always been a talker. Let me have a microphone and let's have some fun.
Did it get you in trouble in school?
A lot. ADHD, can you tell? I talk way too much.
Well, I mean, but that's your thing, and I think that's what makes you also so lovable and likable is the fact that you talk. I mean, you probably never meet a stranger.
It's so funny. My kids say that to me all the time. And they also, like, my daughter came to Vegas with me for the Academy of Country Music Awards, and we get in the elevator, and what happens when you get in an elevator? If there's a bunch of people, nobody says a word. You're going up 30 floors. They're looking at the floor.
Sure.
You're reading the pizza advertisement on the wall. And she's like, "Dad, don't. Dad, please, just don't." And I'm like, "Oh, come on." And she turns around the other way, and I go, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino." And they're like, "Oh my God, you're the guy."
You're the guy.
"Hey, can you do my voicemail? Hey, what time's the show start? When do you get to the buffet?"
Wouldn't you imagine that people have probably had you do your voicemails?
Oh, it's so fun. If I was to call my friend Michelle Ryan right now, you would hear my voice, and it sounds like you're calling an award show.
That is so funny.
And again, how blessed am I that I've met listeners to my radio show that would say, "Is there any way you can do my voicemail?" And I had one rule. And if you can write it out, I'll do it. Done. No problem.
Do you remember the first time that you're maybe by an artist or a celebrity that you were recognized by your voice before it was your face?
Reba McEntire.
Okay.
When the first night of Hot Country Nights, I was being a goofball backstage, and she comes around the corner and she goes, "I know that voice anywhere. Shawn Parr, where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, Reba, good to see you." I had met her and hosted her show the week before at Knott's Berry Farm.
Okay.
Ironically enough, with this brand new group named Brooks and Dunn. And they have been friends that long. That was 1990.
That was the year I was born.
Wow. Well, I was only 4.
Oh my my God. Okay. So now talking about like you've done radio, you've also done voice acting, so what the shows are, you've done ACMs, I have them written down here, Golden Globes, American Music Awards. What would you say is the biggest difference between radio personality and award shows?
Some of the award shows, they don't want too big of an announcer voice.
Okay. What do you think?
Which sounds very strange, right?
Yeah. Do you think they feel like that takes away from the host of the actual show?
Yes.
Okay.
They want it a little more natural. They want you to feel the show. I'll never forget when I got the call after I started working at KZL, or got the job at KZLA. Dick Clark calls me into his office, and he says, "Hey man, congratulations, we heard." I'm like, "You heard?" "Yeah, we heard you got the job over at KZLA." He said, "I'm going to tell you one thing." And the way that I got the job, another Cinderella story through Norm Epstein, but I went from making $5 an hour to making $125,000 a year.
Wow.
For a union radio station, for a kid who came from nothing in a little town called Norwalk, California, the home of country music. It is not. I'm just kidding. But Dick called me into his office. He said, "You're going to have a lot of things and opportunities come your way." He said, "Don't you ever sign another contract without representation." He said, "You don't need a manager. You don't need an agent. We're your family. We got you. Just so you know, be aware. A lot of opportunity is coming." And I just couldn't believe it. It was like, and his dogs are sitting next to me, and his wife Carrie's on my right. And I said, "Dick, thank you so much." And he was so proud of me, and I'm crying in his office. And I leave, and a week later I get the call. "Hey, Dick wants you to do the American Music Awards." Do the American Music Awards? What does that mean? "Dick wants you to be the voice of the show." I'm like, "I've never done that."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, they'll show you." Okay. So I show up at the studio. I get in a booth, and they show me how hard it is to read a script and be able to look at a video screen at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
And when a frame changes, you have to go to the next line. And Gene Weed was my mentor. He was a radio guy that turned into Dick Clark's right-hand man and his director for everything. Golden Globes, American Music Awards, billboards. He stood in the booth my first time, and he tapped me on the shoulder every time I was supposed to announce.
Oh, okay.
And announce. The beginning of the show. "Welcome to the American Music Awards, starring blah, 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 Michael Jackson, Madonna." Every time there's a pause, and then when the frame switches, you have to say it, and it's live.
Yeah.
So he would tap my shoulder. Gene would pass away 7 years later, but I would do all of these shows. Dick called, "Wants you to do the Globes." Dick called, "Wants you to do the Academy of Country Music Awards." And I couldn't believe it. And I became Dick's guy, and still am to this day for 36 years, and did all the shows. So when you do the Golden Globes, they have to be different than the American Music Awards.
Sure.
They have to be different than the Billboards or the NFL Awards. The Golden Globes is my favorite because it's a party. You never know what's going to happen. I'm on the edge of my seat the entire time because I'm in the room and the show is live.
Okay.
There was one year where, I forgot it. Her name just left my brain. An actress was in the bathroom when they called her. Robin Williams jumps up on stage and just starts riffing.
Oh, God, that's amazing.
Right. But they have me standing by just in case they need to go to the next element or whatever it is. So I'm like ready for anything. And there were times when I had to fill in, and we were doing the American Music Awards. One particular singer, I won't tell you who, but a rap artist, Nikki somebody, but anyway, wouldn't come out of her dressing room. We are 1 minute to air.
Oh my God.
The security for the American Music Awards, I can't believe I'm saying this. Can I tell this story?
Sure you can.
Okay, well, yeah, it's past tense. Who cares?
Yeah.
Everybody knows the story. Nobody knows the story. The security for the American Music Awards. Dick screaming, "Get her out of her drawer. I don't care what you got to kick the door down."
Oh my gosh.
They go down, and she's got an entourage
Yeah.
of people, and they lift her out of the dressing room, bring her
Literally lift
to
her.
the stage, because when you're doing a show like that, everything is lined up backstage in order. It went out the back door and down the side street by the Staples Center in Los Angeles. It's all in order. You can't just not have that performance and go to the next one. It doesn't work that way. So they're like, "Shawn, stand by. Get ready. Milk it. Let's go. Slow it down. Slow it down. She's almost in place." It was, and I'm like shaking as I'm announcing the American Music Awards live from the LA Theater in downtown Los Angeles, milking every word.
Yeah.
And they're like, "She's almost there. Stand by. Get ready to introduce her." And I have never been so scared in all my life, because it's like Dick is ready to go out on stage, like to stall. We have no idea what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out with him, and here she comes. "Go, go, go, announcer. She said, go now. She better sing. You better sing, go. Cue the track."
Did it work?
Sorry, can you tell how hyper I am? And bam, never missed a beat.
Wow.
I mean, it was a second away from being a disaster. And I can't believe I just told the whole world.
No, but I love it. I mean, you didn't say who, so it's fine.
I've never told that story before. Well, I told it to my kids, but they're all
but that's
big
high
fans.
stress. And what I was going to say, because obviously you've done some work for those shows that are in studios, and then obviously some that are on the fly like that's live. What do you prefer more, being in the moment with the microphone right there doing it live, or do you prefer the pre-recorded stuff?
That is a great question. Tiffany, I'll tell you, I love the feeling of anything can go wrong at any time.
Okay.
So I've gone from the Golden Globes and the American Music Awards, being on stage at the American Music Awards, to where the camera pans off, coming off of Billy Idol's performance, and he comes over and I'm in a tuxedo or some crazy wild sequined outfit, and the camera stops and I'm reading, "Coming up next, it's blah, 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 plus Jennifer Lopez." And a little bit later, Janet Jackson makes her return live. And here comes Billy Idol. And he puts his arm around me and he kisses me on the cheek.
Oh my gosh.
And we're on TV. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I got to keep going right here. And they're counting down in my ear in 3, 2, on ABC. And go New York. And it's like, what just happened?
I mean, yeah, what's life, right? Like,
And again, I look at that as like, how blessed am I that just happened? What on earth? Are you kidding? So it's so much fun.
okay, so now since you just said that you like living in the moment of like anything could go wrong, can you share a time? Because obviously the one you just shared, it ended up going right. Has there been a scenario that sticks out in your mind where it went really wrong?
I'm going to knock on every piece of wood we have in your amazing studio, because there was only one instance where I started to say, accepting the Golden Globe, I'm sorry, for Saving Private Ryan, executive producer, director Steven Spielberg. As I'm starting to say that, because the assistant director, cue the announce, they're in one ear, the show is in the other ear. And they're like, 3, 2, and go announce, accepting the Golden Globe for Saving Private Ryan. And I hear, no!
It wasn't the winner.
It was the winner.
Okay.
The director yells no, but he wasn't yelling at me. He was yelling at one of the camera guys. I stopped and then I don't know why I kept going. I just picked it right back up and went, is executive producer and director, because he had yelled no in between. Ladies and gentlemen, Steven Spielberg. Oh my God. When he yelled, it was like, sorry, Shawn, sorry. It was like, oh my God. And then one other time, nobody knows, I had food poisoning 15 minutes prior to the Golden Globes.
Oh my gosh, Shawn.
And I'm in the back of the room, up a fire escape. They build a studio where the lighting is. And so a lot of people don't know I'm up there. Mm-hmm. And they always have somebody come and check on me. This particular year, nobody came and checked on me. The room was spinning, and what am I going to do? We're 5 minutes to air, and I can't lift my head. And I'm going to tell them I can't do the show. I'm sick. Mm-hmm. I got food poisoning. We had a production meeting for lunch. Everybody ordered burgers and fries. I ordered a chicken salad. It didn't taste right.
But you kept eating it, huh?
I was so hungry. It was the worst night of my life because I could only lift my head to say, tonight, live from the Beverly Hilton Hotel, it's the 77th Golden Globes on NBC. Please welcome your hosts, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler at the time. And then I'd lay my head back down into one spot or else I would get sick. And this went on for 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sweating and I'm getting worse. And I'm looking for anything I could find, a trash can, anything. And there was a little door and it was to the attic of the Beverly Hilton. And I opened this door and there's a little sink there and had water dripping. I don't know where it was coming from, didn't care. I threw the water on my face. Mm-hmm. And then I'd go back and lay my head down during commercial breaks. And I mean, I'm soaked. And after the show, we all go to the after parties. It's great. We have a production toast. I didn't show up.
Yeah.
I left my script. I left everything. Got in my car. And I was driving down Santa Monica Boulevard. And I was delirious. And I didn't know where I was. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get emotional. But I called a young lady that I was seeing at the time. And I said, you have to come and get me. I don't know where I am. There's a Holiday Inn Express. And I see La Brea. And I believe I'm on Santa Monica Boulevard. I can't go any further. And she came and got me, took me straight to St. Joseph's Hospital, and they checked me in. Wow. Because I was so dehydrated. Mm-hmm. I didn't show up for the studio the next day. My boss doesn't know where I am. The guy that filled in for me, they had to call in, is like, Shawn was at the Golden Globes last night. We don't know what happened. Dick Clark, they're calling Dick Clark's office. Nobody knows. This is against HIPAA rules, but a nurse getting off the shift hears the radio and calls the studio and says, Shawn Parr is in the hospital.
Oh.
That's all she said. And Dick Clark found out about it. He was so worried and so upset that I didn't tell anybody. Mm. And so from that show forward to this day, somebody has to sit with me every show.
No kidding.
Because on the American Music Awards, for instance, if, let's just say Taylor Swift is up for 7 awards, mm-hmm. which is probably
common, I guess.
Yeah, common, right, every year. So if she wins, this is Taylor Swift's 13th award. Oh, what a great number. And if she wins again, they have to circle it. This is Taylor Swift's, and they put 14. Uh-huh. And so you have to keep track of all that stuff as the show is going on so that you can say,
sure,
Taylor Swift and her 15th win. And they get so excited. And it's like, how do they know that? Well, they keep track. Well, good. Mm-hmm. Well, I got 12 other things going on. I can't keep track of all that. And I've also got somebody watching, bringing water, snacks. How are you feeling? Dick Clark, I spoke at his funeral. And they're doing a special later this year, anniversary special. They've invited me to Los Angeles in October. I hope I'm not supposed to. I think I'm allowed to talk about it.
Well, if not, we'll just.
No, it's fine. I don't care. What are we? We're going to talk about Miley Cyrus too. Let's talk about everything. But that was probably the worst night of my life because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get through the show.
Wow.
Wondering how it sounded at the same time. You know what I mean? I really didn't know.
Yeah. That's what a close call. That could have been. I will say, since you've been in so many different scenarios, so many different situations, you've met probably like almost like every major celebrity at this point. I mean, with what you've done, who are a few artists at least, or you could even say actors or actresses that have surprised you the most?
Robert Duvall.
Okay. Why? How so?
Drew
Why?
Barrymore.
Okay.
I was doing the Academy of Country Music Awards, and I got this crazy phone call from my agent. She said, "Hey, you got this role in this movie." And I go, "Oh, yeah, great. Okay, what are you talking about?" And she said, "The movie you auditioned for the sportscaster." And I said, "That was like 6 months ago. What are you talking about?" She goes, "No, they've been delayed on production. They want you for this movie." I had 2 lines. I had to be in Paramount Studios from Las Vegas the next day. So I was flying in at 6 o'clock in the morning anyway. Mm-hmm. And so I land. Wardrobe had called me to get my sizes. And I go straight to Paramount Studios. Mm-hmm. Show up. Here we go. Boom. This guy meets me in my car. And I'm like, I've never been on a set of a major motion picture. Mm-hmm. I've done Shania Twain Brooks and done videos. Been able to hang out at award shows, different things, but never a movie set. Uh-huh. So I really didn't know what to do. And this guy's like, "Come on, Parr, man, let's go." I'm like, "Great." And it said extras this way. So he keeps going straight. I went to the left, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "It says extras over here." And I go, "They said you were funny, man. Get over here. Come on." I'm like, "Okay." So we go around the corner, and it's Trailer City. Drew Barrymore, Robert Duvall, Eric Bana, Gene Smart, and Shawn Parr. And I'm like,
got your own trailer.
Why is my trailer with their trailer? So I called my agent, and I go, "What is this movie?" She goes, "It's Lucky You. It's Warner Brothers major motion picture. It's $100 million. Whoa. And you're the sports guy." And I go, "Great. When were you going to tell me all that?"
Yeah, that's kind of like something that for you to just show up and not know anything about this.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I had my lines that I memorized on the plane, but it was 2 lines. So there's a knock on the door, and it's a runner, and he says, "Mr. Hansen, the director, would like to see you now." And I said, "Mr. Hansen?" He said, "Yeah, Curtis Hanson." And I said, "What? Want to see me?" Curtis Hanson, Oscar winner, LA Confidential, Curtis Hanson. He goes, "Yeah, come on." So I go to the set, and it's Binion's from Las Vegas. They've rebuilt it on a sound studio, and it's gorgeous. There's 500 people, poker tables everywhere, grandstands. It's phenomenal. I'm like, this is crazy. What am I doing here? And there's the final table, and here comes this director, messed up hair. He's got a wrinkled shirt and jeans. And Shawn, here's what I'm thinking. It's the first year for the whole card cam, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to talk to Karina. She's one of the top female players in the world, and she's going to like it. And then I want you to talk to Bobby, this guy here, and he's not going to like it. And whatever you do, just do your thing. And then I want you to look in the camera, and I want you to say, like it or not, poker as a spectator sport is about ready to undergo a major change. Can you do that? I said, sure. You give me a microphone, it's a security blanket.
Yeah.
I was scared to death.
Well, it's different. I guess a motion picture. I mean,
Right.
That's different.
So they give me the microphone. Quiet on the set. I mean, there are 500 people here. Mm-hmm. A bell goes off, and action. We're here at the World Series of Poker. It's the first year for the whole card cam. Lots going on. Let's talk to one of our top female players in the world. Karina, your thoughts on the whole card cam? I think it's great. Folks at home can watch, blah, 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 blah. Karina, good luck in the tournament. I know you're doing well. Looking good at the final table. Let's talk to two-time world champion, LC Cheever. LC, your thoughts? He's not going to like it. I don't like it. I don't want people knowing what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. Well, folks, there you have it. Like it or not, poker as a spectator sport is about ready to undergo a major change. Curtis is like, that's great. Cut. Script. Get out here. Did you get that? They're writing all this stuff down. What was that last thing he said? And I tell this girl, and he rips the paper off, hands it to me, and he goes, go memorize that. I'm like, okay, I just did that, but sure. So he's like, let's set the cameras up. They're setting cameras now. Mm-hmm. And he goes, somebody call Bobby. Pardon me. I thought this guy was Bobby.
Okay.
He was a stand-in. Out walks Robert Duvall. My first day on the set of a major motion picture, and I can't breathe. Robert Duvall is walking towards me. Shawn, hey man, so good to see you. My wife and I love country music so much. We dance all the time. Hey, we'll talk about that in a minute. You want to run this? What are we doing? Nobody told him what we're doing. So I tell him, run this, I'm assuming means you want to practice. Mm-hmm. And we practice. And they set the cameras and we run and we film. 2 days we film. I'm like, what about my other lines? I just had 2 lines.
Oh, yeah, right.
And at the end of the second day, and we filmed from every angle of the poker table.
The same thing?
Same thing, over and over. And it was awesome because in between takes, we were playing poker, real poker. Mm-hmm. And he's the second AD comes over and she goes, hey, what are you doing for the next 4.5 weeks? And I said, nothing. Why? What's up? Of course, I was at KZLA doing my radio show. Mm-hmm. She said, Curtis wants to write you into the movie. Okay. And they had to pay me what they paid me the day they hired me.
Okay.
I didn't know that either. They paid me a lot of money for 2 lines, for 2 days of work, what ended up being 4.5 weeks of work. And it's kind of ironic that today, on my way here, I stopped at the mailbox. It's 17 years later.
It's like you're still getting...
I'm still getting residuals. Every year when they show the World Series of Poker, the movie comes back on in rotation. I got a guest starring role. I was with Robert Duvall and Drew Barrymore, one of the sweetest people. And Robert Duvall, God rest his soul, was a teddy bear. And again, I know I said it early, but I'll say it again. What a blessing. Mm-hmm. Another blessing.
I mean, no kidding. I mean, you have like one like incredible thing after another that is just like, I mean, all testament to, I think, that how you are with people. I mean, and it's an immediate attraction where it's like, it might have just shown up for 2 lines and now you're a guest role in the movie. And I feel like that is, I mean, incredible.
So grateful though, and so humbled and honored. And my philosophy always was, and I tell my son the same thing. He works in Boise, Idaho. He's a sportscaster out there. And he is killing it. I'm so proud of him. I said, look, over-deliver whatever they need. Mm-hmm. You know, don't expect to be paid for everything. Just do it. If somebody needs something, just deliver it.
Raise the hand and do it.
Yeah. And by the way, give it to them early. I don't need this till Friday. Great. It's Wednesday. Why do I want to wait till Friday? I can do it right now.
That's great advice.
And every day, no matter what you're going through, because we all go through it, my life has been a roller coaster of, you know, I always tell country artists and songwriters, you want to write a #1 hit, talk to a radio DJ. Mm. We've been through it all. Marriage, divorce, kids, whatever. We've done it.
Sure.
But you can always find blessings. Always. No matter how hard it gets, no matter what you're going through, look around.
You sure can.
Every day. The fact that you woke up this morning and said,
check the box. You woke up.
Yeah.
Some people didn't get to do that.
My feet hit the ground. Mm-hmm. They're not underground. My feet hit the ground today. Let's go.
Right. My dad always says that. I was like, whenever I ask him how his day is, he's like, well, I woke up. You know, not everybody got to say they checked that box today. That's
true.
So
that's very, very true.
Getting back to the idea of radio, I mean, you've broadcasted to over like 150 stations at once, nationwide. How do you still make it personal for listeners when it's being broadcasted to that many stations?
You talk to one listener at a time.
Okay.
Just one. See, and that's the thing. I always thought that Rick Dees and Ryan Seacrest and all these nationally syndicated guys, mm-hmm. and again, because I don't know, I'm not I didn't set out to do radio. I didn't know any better. I thought that when you're on all these stations, that you go visit these affiliates. So when I first came to Nashville to do a nationally syndicated show, I was like, I want to go to Albuquerque. I've never been. My daughter's doing a horse show. I called the radio station there, and they're like, well, why? You're coming to Albuquerque? Well, is corporate sending you? Are we in trouble? We've never had a nationally syndicated radio person come and visit. I said, seriously? I just thought it was second nature.
Kind of wish that it was more like that. I mean,
oh my goodness. Every market had the same response. Lexington, Kentucky.
Shocked.
Lawrence, Kansas. Lawrence, Kansas is a prime example of I called the guy, nothing. I emailed the guy, nothing. I get a call from the regional manager. His name is John, and he was on one of my other stations in Cookeville. He was the regional manager for that station as well on the Country Giant. And he said, hey, I just got a call from my program director in Lawrence. Are you going to Kansas on Thursday? I said, well, I've got a flight booked. I was hoping to, but I can't get an answer from this poor guy. And he goes, he's a young kid. I just hired him. He's got a nationally syndicated radio host calling him. He's freaking out. I said, why? He said, well, why do you want to go to Lawrence, Kansas? I said, to meet the team.
totally.
To say, thank you for running my show. What can I do for you in Lawrence, Kansas to make your guys more money? And he goes, that's insane. You're crazy. You're crazy.
Oh, no, I think that's wonderful.
I said, so can I come to Lawrence on Thursday? And he goes, are you on the 10 o'clock out of Nashville? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I'm on the 10 o'clock. I said, well, I've got a car. Jump in. And we got to know each other for an hour and a half ride out to Lawrence, Kansas. He's showing me around the town. And when you ask, how can I make it personal? In Lawrence, Kansas, we're driving down Main Street. And I look over to the left. And I see all these amazing restaurants, all my favorites. I got Sonic. I got Panda Express drive-thru. But the one thing, who's our client, the Boot Barn, is right there. And so when I'm talking about Lawrence, Kansas, on the liners for that particular radio station, I could describe, and people know that I'm not just using words. I've been there. I'm telling you that I know Renee, who's the manager over at the Boot Barn, or John, who is the coolest manager over at the Panda Express drive-thru. By the way, you mentioned you heard it right here. 2 extra sweet spring rolls just for you.
Oh, my gosh.
Or they'll put an extra fortune cookie in the bag.
Well, I mean, obviously, with like everything that you've accomplished and you've done, I know that we were talking before we started rolling about things that you're excited about that you're doing now. And you said you just got off the most exciting week of your life. I want you to talk about it a little more because I know it means something really important to you with cystic fibrosis. So can you tell us a little bit what you were just out there doing in D.C.?
It's the craziest thing because my wife and I were invited out there to accept an award. I've been part of the organization. They started my career for me. Had I not stood up the first night at a golf tournament and raised my hand and did the auction, I would have never met Helen Johnson. I would have just a snowball effect of Hot Country Nights to the Academy of Country Music Awards. She's behind Norm Epstein from KZLA, Dick Clark. It's just a snowball effect. But so I've been involved with them for 38 years. It's very emotional because the first time I ever got involved, I was at this golf tournament. And I'm sitting there. My buddy invited me. I'm trying to do this correctly. And it was just, I was so excited because I couldn't afford to play Santa Ana Country Club in Orange County. I was making the $5 an hour doing a radio. I had just started, and his company bought a team. I didn't have to pay. So I get there. I couldn't sleep the night before. It's like going to Disneyland. They hand me a bag. Here's a shirt. Here's a sweater. Steve's going to give you a pair of shoes. I'm like, this is the greatest day of my life. And we played the tournament and win. Mm-hmm. So now there's a dinner. Go to the dinner. And all I cared about was the trophy and the golf and the drinks and the fun and the food. And a mother steps up. They start this program. And she starts telling the story of what it takes to get her daughter, who's standing right next to her, who's 6 years old, to breathe every single day. And what she has to go through to beat her chest. And I am devastated. I'm mad at myself, number one, because I felt so selfish. Because I didn't know what cystic fibrosis was, or there was even a charity, or how to spell. I didn't know anything. But I listened to every word this mother said. And I decided that night that I wanted to fight for this little girl. And I wanted to fight for this disease I'd never heard of. Because I wasn't married at the time. I didn't have any kids. I'd never met anybody that had a dreaded disease like this. And so when the auctioneer didn't show up and I raised my hand, it was for that little girl. So I continued the fight to this day for cystic fibrosis. I wanted to know everything about that disease. And 38 years later, they invite us to Washington to do what they called March on the Hill. And I thought it was to join 700 or 800 people to lock arms and go to Washington, D.C. and march on the Hill. And we carry signs, and then somebody presents a bill to somebody on the Hill. And we all get to sing, I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm sorry. But I'm so excited that I can't wait to get to Washington, D.C. But the reason we were invited was for the Jenna Award. And Jenna is a 13-year-old little girl who lost her battle with cystic fibrosis. Her parents are the sweetest people in the world. And they present the award every year to somebody who is involved with cystic fibrosis who has no connection to cystic fibrosis. So I'm married, 4 kids, healthy, and blessed every day. And we continue to fight. I know everything there is to know. I've served on the board, and I was honored that they asked me to do it. And they did this big surprise thing with my wife and I on Zoom. So here we are in Washington, D.C., and we're at the Capitol, and we got to do all these incredible things. And we met with our representatives from Tennessee to tell them about what it takes for a mother or a father or a family to fight this disease today, to get some of these modulators that are the technology and the medicines today they have are incredible, but they're expensive. We're talking $27,000 a month for trifecta, which is an amazing disease that's a modulator that keeps the disease at bay. It's not a cure, but it allows us more time. The average lifespan when I first started was 14 years of age for a child that was diagnosed with CF. Today, it's over 61. And I say that with glee.
Yeah.
But we're not done. And when I got the award, Mark and Margaret, they're two incredible, the parents of Jenna, did this whole presentation. There were 700 people in this room. And they all stood up and they had these, Taylor Swift lighted wristbands that were all blinking. And I was sobbing profusely because I just had never been through anything like that. And nobody told me what I was supposed to say or how much time I had. And I said, that's it. I'm just going to go.
Good news is you're good at that.
I've never been so scared, honestly.
Something that actually really meant something.
In all my life, because I genuinely cared. Mm-hmm. And I stood up, and I always go to comedy to get it back. Because I was sobbing. And I said, I've always wanted to say these words. I've wanted to be an actor my entire life, and I want to thank the Academy. And so they all knew, because he had talked about the Golden Globes and everything, and I just thought it worked. And then I did 11 and a half minutes of a speech, and it was a roller coaster of emotion for everybody. And then I said something at the very end. My wife is still shaking her head. I said, I've imagined you all naked for the entire... No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. I said, on behalf of the Orange County chapter, who I've fought for most of my career, the Nevada chapter, Mexico, and all the other cities, I just want to say this. If you need me in your city, I am there. And there were about 80 cities represented.
So they're calling now.
From 35 different states. And after the ceremony, I stood in the same spot for 2.5 hours, taking pictures, hearing stories, and checking dates on my calendar for the rest of the year.
But what, again, a blessing.
Another incredible blessing. I told my wife when I walked off the stage, I don't remember what I said. I don't remember the speech. But she said it was the most unbelievable thing she's ever seen me do. And she said I was funny. And she's heard all my material. So it's crazy.
Well, I have only 2 more things for you before we're going to wrap up.
I am sorry. I'm such a talker.
No, my gosh, we love talk. I'm a talker, but it's really funny. Like in the seat that I'm in right now, when I interview people, is that it's not about me. It's not about me talking. It's wanting to hear from a guest. So it's about you completely. So,
and again, for me to be on this side is a little different as well, because for 40 years I've been on your side. And it's, again, I'm so excited to be here, Tiffany. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. And I know with everything that you've been able to do and use your voice for good and beyond, what is something that you have not been the voice for that you still would like to be?
Wow. I'll just be real honest, and I would love to do the Oscars.
For sure.
I would love to do the Oscars. However, there was a lot of competition in award shows for several years. If you do the American Music Awards, you can't do the Grammys.
Really?
If you do the Golden Globes, you can't do the Oscars. There was a lot of competition for years and years and years. And so one year I had an opportunity to do the Oscars. And I went to Dick Clark and I said, hey, Dick, I just wanted to get a heads up. I had an opportunity. I got a call from one of the producers to be the voice of the Oscars. And he says, he's so funny. His face said it all. But he said, you know, Shawn, I'm not telling you not to do the Oscars. And I said, Oscars? What are you talking about? Where did that come from? No, I just came over to see the dogs and say hi to Carrie and see if you want to get a Coke. Everything good? Okay, I think we're done here. Yeah, I was doing so many shows for Dick.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I didn't want to upset him, and had a chance to do the Grammys once, and I'd love to do the Grammys. Now I can. I don't do the American Music Awards anymore. I did them for 25 years. I think it's the Grammys and the Oscars.
And the Oscars. You know, another thing that I feel like you'd be really good at, because if I was a voice actor or did things like this, I know I would love to do a Disney fireworks show.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yeah, see, we got to put that out there.
There are 2 things I get a lot of. Number 1 is a lot of people in Nashville when I walk down Broadway, because I usually have a country shirt on and I'm usually decked out. They think I'm the lead singer for Rascal Flatts.
Oh my gosh.
I take pictures at the V&A airport a lot.
No way. People really think you are Gary.
Oh, I don't see it, but a lot of people do. And I play a lot of golf with Jay DeMarcus and Joe Don Rooney. So there's been tournaments where we take pictures as Rascal Flatts.
That's really good.
And I always tell people, if I could do Disney, that would be a dream job for me. Anything Disney.
Totally.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your hands and arms in at all times. There is no smoking on the Matterhorn.
See, this is what we're doing. Disney, hello. Okay.
I love it.
All right. So lastly, if you could go back and talk to young Shawn Parr starting in radio, what advice would you give him now?
Wow. It's not going to be easy. If you could have a vest on that just let all of that stuff they're going to throw at you bounce off your chest, find it, pay as much as you can for it, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Because some of the things that you go through, and it's no matter what job you have, but in radio, some of the things that I've had to endure, the jealousies, the bosses that never could do what I did or what I do and don't understand why I do what I do. I go out with our salespeople. I meet the clients one-on-one. I become friends with them. I do all the extra stuff. I answer my own phones.
It's the personal
If you're calling a
touch.
radio station, I want to talk to you. You took the time to call me. I don't want to. I love my interns, and I train them well, but I want them to be successful. I'm not training them to answer a phone. I'm training them to be a board operator or a producer or somebody that they want to be. It's hard. I had a boss that would call me at 6 o'clock in the morning or at 6:05 or at 6:15, right when I started my shift, and just scream in my ear and tell me how useless I was. And did I write a script for what I just said on the radio on how I introduced that last song? And the tone was wrong. And everything had to be perfect. That being said, it made me stronger. Kelly Clarkson, ladies and gentlemen, that just came to mind. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It put me in therapy and kept me fighting. And it was the hardest radio for about a year and a half I ever had to do. And I made it through. And then his predecessor came in, and I was the most popular radio guy. And to show everybody on the staff that he was the man, fired me. And I'd never been fired before. And I didn't know what to do. And 3 months later, they fired him, and the GM of KZLA called me back in, actually took me to dinner at a restaurant at the Smokehouse in Burbank, California, across from Warner Brothers Studios. And he said, first of all, on behalf of the company, we want to apologize. They had just bought the radio station, so they had no idea really what I did. And he said, I want to apologize on behalf of everybody. We had no idea what you had gone through and what you did for us. And we let you go. That being said, what's it going to take? And I knew why he wanted to meet. And I had a number written on a piece of paper. And I slid it across the table. This is right when we sat down. And he looks at the paper and he goes, we deserve that. And he said, welcome home. And that was the second half of my career that just, that's when I knew, okay, we're going to go, that what we're doing is right. And we're going to keep delivering and go 100 miles an hour in every direction and take care of people. That's all it is. Take care of people. We're in the customer service industry. Tiffany, you're in the customer service industry. You're such a blessing. You talk about light. Your light shines bright.
Thank you.
And I don't meet a lot of people with light these days. It's hard. Life is hard. Math is hard. If life was easy, math would be easy. But just continue to take care of people and we'll all be fine.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, Shawn Parr, in a world where AI is taking over everything, it can't take you. It can't replicate you. So thank you so much, Shawn, for being on What's Mine Is Yours. It's really been an honor to have you here.